Hello and welcome to another edition of BuzzFeed Unsolved Postmortem, a show where we answer your most pressing questions about the most recent episode of BuzzFeed Unsolved, which was the Isdal Woman. All the questions we're answering today came from you guys via our BuzzFeed Unsolved Facebook page and our BuzzFeed Unsolved Instagram page.
Put that down there. Good app this week, Ryan.
Yeah, it was a good one. It was a real barn burner.
We haven't done much with this horse back here. Horse, what did you think of this week's episode? I thought it was good.
This is a dumb bit.
Here's one from Fried Chicken Equa. I think she was just pretty hungry and only had pills. I'm gonna disagree with you on that one.
This comes from Luke Brander on Facebook. I have a hunch that she was a vampire hunter.
Luke!
The smell.
Luke wrote a lot, considering he's proposing she's a vampire hunter.
The smell of garlic and the traveling across multiple countries could be due to her being chased by pissed off vampires and there's other vampires hunting her. It's like a Blade scenario. Then one day, as the ultimate revenge from the vampires, they turn her. The bruise on her neck may have been a healing bite mark. She was well dressed, medium height, and had a strange odor to her that Rortvet would realize years later was garlic. A strange bruise on the right side of her neck was also discovered.
Vampires wouldn't smell like garlic, though.
No, because they're repelled by garlic, right?
Yeah.
They're afraid of garlic.
Yeah.
I guess if you wanted to throw people off the scent of you being a vampire, you'd cover yourself with garlic, you know? Because you'd be like, oh, this guy can't be a vampire, he smells like
Do
garlic.
they just not like garlic, though? Or is it physically, they're...
I guess I've never really got the science behind that.
It's because there is none.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Next question, back to old Graham City. Victoria 56. Did they ever find her actual name or identity?
No.
Uh-uh.
Her name's the Isdal Woman, so.
Isdal Woman. Not a birth name.
Ooh, this is a good one. This comes from Lana Men here. This is from Facebook. I think the woman who'd stayed in the hotels was a spy and murdered the Isdal Woman to protect her own identity. Someone was getting too close to finding her and she needed to disappear absolutely. Dressed the Isdal Woman in her clothes and set her on fire to obscure the fact it wasn't really the spy's corpse. The spy also planted the woman's fingerprint on the glasses she left with the suitcase. She probably forced the Isdal Woman to swallow handfuls of the pills so she wouldn't scream during the burning. Maybe she was interrupted and that's why she didn't have time to put the accessories on the body before she burned it, or for the pills to finish the job.
I see.
That's thinking outside the box.
I feel like no matter how you slice it here, there's spies involved. Whether it's the
so,
Isdal Woman or just some other Joe Schmo spy walking around.
Yeah, I think there were spies involved in this one, although there are some questions that we'll get to later that don't think so.
Oh.
They suggest otherwise.
Okay. Here's one back from the Instagram from Hey, it's Elinan. I think Bob did it. I am not up to date with episodes, so I'm really confused. What was the episode?
Yeah, this definitely reads like a question that Shane picked. What do you think the odds are that this person who has not watched the episode is then gonna watch the Q&A for the episode, see her question, and then get your advice about what the episode is, and then goes, oh, I think I'll go watch that.
I don't know. I mean, they're leaving a question, so they probably want to know.
I suppose. Is that what people do? Do people watch the Q&A first, then go to the episode? It's a weird order. I think.
If you are one of those people, who do it a little flipsy-flopsy, topsy-turvy, chime off, let us know.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend Tarantinoing any of the BuzzFeed Unsolved content.
No, it'd be very confusing.
It would be it would actually spoil a lot of it because a lot of the twists and turns are...
It sounded a little like walking there. Spoil
it would spoil a lot of it.
Oh, too nice.
Twists and turns.
Oh.
Spoiled.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
It would spoil it for you. Why did Watkins sneak into this? Riley Gulata Q&A. This is somewhat speculative, but it seems as though the gas found at the site is pretty incriminating towards it being a murder. I think it's somewhat easy to confidently conclude that she worked in espionage, but I think her burning was used as a way to burn off distinguishable features that could be used to identify her. Now here's the interesting bit.
I'm ready.
Sip your coffee, wax your ears, let's go! Assuming that's why she was burned, any sort of enemies she had in the espionage world wouldn't really have any interest in hiding her true identity. So is it possible that in the interest of covering themselves, she was killed by people from her own agency?
She got burned.
Yeah, if she was a spy, it's very likely that maybe she went rogue, or there was a burn notice out for her. They had to get rid of her.
Is that what that show's about?
Burn notice?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna assume that's what burn notice means.
It was just like people roasting each other.
You wanna stick with that one?
Yeah. I thought it was good. Instagram, from Elinan and Jaline.
Just answer.
How long does it take to make an episode from idea to final product?
About like a month, and I would say a month and a week, a month and change, a month, a week, maybe even 2, if you really want it, if it's a bigger one. Yep. Jack the Ripper took quite a bit.
He was a busy guy. There was a lot going on with him.
Yeah, that was just me sitting in an office with a dim lamp, just zoning in.
We don't like to approach Ryan when he's working on his scripts and his research.
I go to a dark place. I have to.
It's taking a toll on him. There's an emptiness there, and it is growing.
This comes from Owen Durham. I'd say it still could have been suicide. I mean, if she were a spy, what better way to conceal your identity after death than to burn yourself to the point of being unrecognizable, and maybe the pills were supposed to help numb the pain of the burning. That to me means she had to be a spy. Like it couldn't have been normal person commits suicide. The spy would have a reason to make their identity, not known.
Even if I were a very good spy, a very tough, real strong spy, I'd want to be fast asleep / dead by the time the flames started to consume my flesh. Here's one from Definitely Eiley. I'm surprised that Ryan didn't bring up anything alien related.
Yeah, me too. Like I said, I'm not gonna just shoehorn an alien in there. I thought there was too many credible theories for this one for me to put aliens in there. And I do realize I have posited aliens for Roanoke, but I actually thought it was warranted there.
You also posited,
Okay, the zombies one was obviously a joke.
We have our 5th theory, that the lost colony of Roanoke disappeared due to a zombie plague.
Here's the thing, if I'm gonna shoehorn something in, I'm gonna make it obvious I'm making a joke. There was no point in that where I had crazed eyes and I was like pointing to graphs and figures
crazed eyes.
saying that zombies were a real thing. No.
Can we play the footage of Ryan saying zombies are a real thing?
What if this is the only case of zombies ever, and because it was on an island, it was contained, so therefore it would never happen again?
What if it's not?
I didn't say that. The only time zombies have ever been even close to a real thing to me was when I watched Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. When I was younger and I thought, holy shit, that's an island full of zombies, seems really scary, I hope Scooby doesn't die. This comes from Wacky Looney. I don't think she was a spy for 2 reasons. 1, she wouldn't have dressed provocatively or done anything to draw unnecessary attention to herself, which she clearly did because people seem to remember her. Let's unpack the first part of that question. I don't think she was dressed provocatively. All accounts say that she was dressed nicely in very fancy clothes.
It was just celebrity boots.
And she was also a lovely woman by accounts as well, so maybe that's why people remembered her.
Also, I don't mean to always bring this back to Mission Impossible, but they wear some nice clothes in those films.
James Bond, I don't know if you've heard of him, he's a spy. He wears a tuxedo. Let's go to the second part there. If a spy is killing another spy and going to the lengths of burning them to hide their identity, wouldn't fingerprints be the first thing they burn? Isn't that like Spy 101? My theory is she was on the run. Abusive relationship, mob connection, something that would justify the overkill. Pills, bruise, burning. Oh, also, not suicide because that amount of pills is going to act really quickly in some way or another. Not enough time for her to set herself on fire and whatnot. Would love to know what you guys think. That's a good point. You would think fingerprints would be the first thing you would burn off.
I'm gonna guess it's not easy.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that's gonna hurt a lot.
The only way I've seen that done effectively is there's this machine where you could place your hands on it.
You're talking about MIB right now.
Yeah, I'm talking about MIB.
Also, the third part of that question, I've actually seen this posited as well, that she was maybe a runaway bride, that she was in an abusive relationship, or that she was in fact maybe a criminal herself. All those are possible. I will say, for a runaway bride, I gotta imagine it's very hard to obtain multiple passports that are legitimate.
But could they even tell back then? It was probably hard, right? They didn't have those cool holograms on money or anything.
It's fucking easy when you're showing it to a hungover, lazy TSA person.
Oh, but when you say, when they're investigating it after the fact, they'll probably look at it a little closer.
They'll go, oh, wait a second, that's Elmer's glue under this picture.
Yes, I see.
She's not who she says she is. This is actually Frank Norris's, or I guess
Who's Frank
Francesca Norris.
What are you talking about?
Because it would be, she'd steal someone else's passport.
Who's that? Who's Francesca Norris?
Wouldn't you steal someone else's passport, paste a picture on top of it?
I don't know. Who's Francesca
It's
Norris?
a name I just made up.
You just made up that name?
Yeah.
You're like a playwright.
No, I'm not.
That was incredible. That was like a Sam Shepard moment.
That's 1 degree of separation away from Chuck Norris.
Francesca Norris.
Okay.
Wow. Oh, what a rich mind you have.
Okay.
Well, what a fun round of questions. Ryan, what do we got coming up this week?
This week's episode is very dark, I'll say that. It's probably darker than any subject we've ever covered before, and it deals with morality in a way that we haven't really, and ethics. We haven't really covered those topics.
A little embarrassing,
Yeah.
considering we only talk about murder.
Well,
For this one, we thought we'd maybe weigh the moral implications of it.
in all the other cases, it was very clear murder is bad.
Yeah.
In this case,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't
Who
know.
can say?
Anyways, that does it for this episode of BuzzFeed Unsolved Postmortem. Make sure you watch the episode this Friday and send in your questions to the BuzzFeed Unsolved Facebook page and the BuzzFeed Unsolved Instagram page, and maybe we'll feature them on the next Postmortem.
That's true. Keep it short.
Keep it short, and you know what? I'm not gonna even fight it.
Our weekly Q&A concluded. I now welcome you to the part of the show we call the Hot Dogga, a hot dog saga commissioned by Ryan, what's your middle name? Ryan Steven Bergara.
That's not my middle name.
Written by me and adored by every single viewer in a darkened lair, surrounded by geothermal vents belching putrid air. The Dark One sits on his throne, waiting. That's him. Finally, they arrive. Pam, an evil hot dog witch, and Brandon, a raccoon possessed by a hot dog child. Master,
Have you succeeded?
yes, Master. We threw them into a volcano. They're gone.
All of them?
Most of them, I think, except a hologram and a French fries.
But Dan the hot dog, he was devoured by magma.
Yes, my brother-in-law was devoured by magma.
Very good. Then the prophecy is complete and the gauntlet of ultimate power, or GUP, is mine.
Gup, gup, gup. They cheer.
I will now summon the gauntlet with the ancient rites. Mus, Tardankesh, Upant Pik, L2.
The ground shakes. A gauntlet appears with a...
The ground shakes.
Yeah, that's me, because it's unsteady now. Whoa, Ryan, react.
You sure you?
React, Ryan. Oh, he's loving it. A gauntlet appears with a flash and falls onto the master's hand. Pam and Brandon watch in horror as the master grows by about 25% and his eyes get more evil, signifying him becoming more evil.
I am the end now. I will grow until I can eat the sun and plunge the earth into despair.
Wow, hell yeah. Now we can finish off those French fries and that old can of soup.
Soup!
Yeah, Mike Soup.
The soup survived!
Yeah, who gives a shit? It's not like he's French fries or that hologram.
You have disappointed me, hot dog witch.
The Dark Master's eyes burn red as he raises his gauntlet, pointing at his hapless minions.
Up!
A flash, a sizzling crack. It rings like a bell. Where Pam once stood, there is nothing but a bun and 2 eyeballs. Brandon stares in awe. Holy shit. Pam's dead.
Do you
Pam's dead, baby.
do you ever actually hear the words that are coming out of your mouth when you're saying these silly little stupid tales?
I do.
I mean, really hear them. I don't.
I do.
You stand by them.
Yeah, I do.
Then that's the saddest thing I've heard all month. He doesn't even have coffee in that cup. I could hear it. That was a fake sip.